Mr. Onyekwere, a quick one on this. From what we have seen so far and the highlights in the coming days, is it too late to fix some of these problems? And how do you hope that these do not go back into the law? It's still a bill right now.
Well, the National Assembly is expected to look at them, weed them out, trim the ones it can trim, and make sure it gives Nigerians a befitting budget. The ball is in the court of the National Assembly, and also the civil society and the media should put pressure on them to do the needful.
A big question will be right now, all these frivolous items. One way they say that politicians and the civil servants find a way of squeezing this sum into the budget and at the end of the day go through the back door to get these monies out. Is there a way to checkmate all of these? Because the saga, the budget party saga went without a major looking into the budget and scrutinizing it has really not happened, as some analysts will say.
Very well. That's why I'm saying it is the duty of the National Assembly, and if they fail in the discharge of that duty, it is up to the citizens to make sure they put sufficient pressure on them so that they do the right thing. Because if we all go to sleep, nothing is going to change. And I don't see the National Assembly as presently constituted passing these things in this form unless they are looking for the wrath of Nigerians. Because it's even very, very unfortunate that they are championing the buy made in Nigeria while most of the MDAs are asking for specific foreign brands of vehicles, specific foreign brands of computers and all those kind of things. So this is an opportunity for them to walk the talk. We can't continue talking without doing the right things.
I mean, one perhaps will be wondering, are you not asking for too much? Even the National Assembly we're talking about here has not opened its own budget. We've always seen just one line item, budget of the NAS, 115 billion, 150 billion, and that's it. No explanation to Nigerians. Are you not asking for too much, or asking them to put their eyes in the details of this one?
Well, we are not asking for too much. Yes, they've not opened their budget. It's also one of the demands that we are making. But I think the buck stops finally at the ultimate sovereigns, the citizens of Nigeria, those who bear the brunt of the recession, those who are suffering. If we want to go to sleep and continue suffering, then it's up to us. But if we want to take action and take our destiny in our hands and tell these people in clear language that it is either they do the right thing or they get out of the kitchen if it is too hot for them. So I think it's a popular pressure that is brought to bear that will determine what they will do at the end of the day.
Okay. Just a moment. Mr. KG, with what we have seen now, what action do you think need to be taken? Because it looks so much that if you are finding these, looks like a government is taking the citizens for granted, isn't it? If you find out all of these frivolous items, or what do you think? I made it wrong.
No, you are not wrong. The action that needs to be taken is very simple. You see, over the years, the civil society has been helpful, but recently, I must confess to you that the civil society has been emasculated. A lot of those people who used to be good leaders of the civil society have suddenly become mouthpieces for the government today, for the executive mainly, not even for the legislature or for the judiciary. You have seen them fall on the side of the executive arm of government. So the major bulk of the solution presently lies squarely with the National Assembly. The National Assembly has to step onto the table, step into the arena of solving this problem and give Nigerians a befitting budget. The idea of transparency needs to be instilled and injected into the system of both the National Assembly and the executive. Now that the executive has come out with what it proposes should be the budget, the expenditure and revenue profile for 2017, the National Assembly should, in the spirit of transparency, lay bare to the Nigerian citizenry, to the Nigerian public, look at what we have seen, look at what we have received from the executive, and look at what we think should be. Having this kind of reference points, these research papers at hand, and using it to help out in the situation going forward.
Okay, just for a moment, let's quickly flip the page now. Nigeria plans to produce 2.2 million barrels of oil per day to meet up with its expectations as projected in the 2016 and 2017 budget. But the expectations have largely been truncated by a series of attacks on oil installations in the oil-rich Niger Delta region. The acting president, Yemi Osinbajo, is back in the Niger Delta seeking peace. To what effect is this? Let's get more perspective on this quickly before we end the show. Let me start with Mr. Onyekwere in our Abuja studio. How helpful do you think this tour of the vice president could be in the light of the 2017 budget?
It will be quite helpful if the government is serious about negotiating with the militants and those people who are causing this harm to the economy, and enter good faith negotiations, carry out whatever promises that has been made to them, and I see it to be in a position to make us meet the 2.2 million barrels, because if you look at the revenue framework, oil revenue is the major expectation of revenue, is over 40%. So if we don't get our acts right in the oil revenue, the 2017 budget may suffer a lot of harm.
All right.
So it is important he continues this peace shuttle, and as well, whatever agreements he makes with the militants, they should implement it to the letter.
All right, Mr. Ikeji, just as we round up now, final words on these. Good move, bad move?
Middle of the way. I think it's a middle of the road move, if you ask me. It's not entirely bad, it's not entirely good, because the real question is not diplomatic visits. The real question is in answering to the real problems of the Niger Delta. And what are the real problems of the Niger Delta? The real problems of the Niger Delta is that most of the money that comes out from that place does not get into that place. You don't see developments there. Where are those monies? You need to find out why those monies are not getting there. And that means that you need to restructure the system. The institutional systems that are responsible in tackling developmental issues in that region needs to be tackled. And the best way to do it, if you ask me, is to go back to the foundations. And the foundations is the resource control issue, fiscal federalism. Take government back to the people, the home zone rule, where the people down there are the people in control of the resources.
Mr. Okechukwu Ikeji, policy analyst and legal practitioner, thank you so much. And Mr. Eze Onyekwere, the executive director of Center for Social Justice, many thanks for coming on the program. Just before we go, in a democracy, you most times disagree to agree, and when you disagree and you appear not to be agreeing at all on any matter, what is best in that situation? Take a look at this. You run or exchange blows. The Harlow chamber of the South African parliament was turned into a boxing ring, while opposition won't allow the president speak, with frequent interruptions when he was delivering a State of the Nation address. I recommend a boxing bag if they can get it for politics.